Greetings to Sir is one. My name is Marzatul Alina. In this video, one of my member Anissa Wardina and I will present about Nemo.'s quote non-habits rule and its exceptions. Without wasting any time, I'm going to start first.
So what is the Nemo.quote non-habits rule? This rule is derived from Latin maxim, which is Nemo.quote non-habits. In English, it is translated into no one can transfer a better than he has himself. This rule is set out in section 27 of SOGA in 1957. Next is according to the Nemo.'s rule, where the goods are sold by a person who not the owner and does not sell them under the authority or consent of the owner. The buyer acquires the better title to the goods than seller had. That means if goods are purchased from a person who is not the owner, the buyer does not acquire any title. That's why the Nemo.' rule was designed to protect the rights of the original owner, especially in cases where their goods are stolen. In the case of Lim Chui Lai vs. Zeno Limited, the chairman of Zeno Limited Board of Directors entered into an agreement with contractor named Ahmad in January 1961. Zeno was provide Ahmad with all the material for his project. In June 1961, suddenly Zeno know that the Petaling Jaya authority had cancelled Ahmad's contract. But in September 1961, Zeno discovered that the material had been sold by Ahmad to Lim for Rm 14,000. Zeno then commenced this action for conversion. And the last, the court held the Ahmad not the owner at the time he sold them to Lim. He has no title to the goods or authority to sell them. There are several exceptions of the Nemo.quote non-habits rule. The first is as supple. When the owner of the goods from his conduct makes a representation to the buyer that the person selling the goods has the authority to do so, the buyer acts in reliance on the owner is stopped from denying the seller's authority. The buyer who buy items in good faith and will get better titles on those items. For example, in the case of NZ Securities versus Red Cars, A agrees to sell a car to B and gives ownership to the car during the check tender. Both of them agree that the title will not be handed over to B until A receives the money. However, before B and C signed the contract, C had contacted A's office first. After he called, clerk informed him that B had paid for the car. B had also sold the car to C before the check. However, the check did not sell, so A takes back the car from C, and however, C has sued A for conversion. The court held that C succeeded in claiming that A was prevented by his conduct from denying B the power to sell. Next is sale by mercantile agent. Mercantile agency means a mercantile agent having in the customary course of business as such agent authority either to sell goods, consign goods is not the owner of the goods but has a possession of the goods. The buyer purchased the goods from mercantile agent will get a better title if the following conditions are fulfilled, which is at the time of the sale, the mercantile agent must be in possession of the goods. Next is the possession of the goods must with the consent of the owner. Besides, the mercantile agent sell the goods in the ordinary course of business as mercantile agent. And the last one is the buyer has acted in good faith. Besides is sale by one of joint owners, where one good is owned by two persons. Thus, a person cannot sell the good without the consent of another owner. The buyer purchased the goods from any one of these owners will get a better title if the following conditions are fulfilled, which is the first one is one of the owners has the sole possession of the goods by permission of the owners. Next is the buyer acts in good faith and has no knowledge of the seller's lack of authority to sell.
Sales under avoidable titles, sales by a seller in possession of goods, and sales by a buyer in possession of goods. So the first exception that I will present is sales by a person in possession and the avoidable contract. According to the law, if the essence of any of the parties to a contract is gained via force, fraud, deception, or under influence, the contract is voidable from the perspective of the person whose consent was obtained. According to Section 29 of SOGA, if a person obtains possession of goods under avoidable contract and then sells the same goods to other parties before the contract is avoided by the other parties, the buyer will have possession and good little over such goods again, provided that the buyer acts in good faith and without noticing the defect in the sale. But on the contrary, in a right scenario where the other parties has rescinded the contract with the seller, the buyer holds a defective little over the goods. Another apparent exception to the nemo dat quod non habet rule is where there is a sale by a buyer in possession. In this situation, where a person having bought or agreed to buy goods obtains with the consent of the seller possession of the goods or the documents of the title to the goods, the delivery or transfer by that person or by a mercantile agent acting for him of the goods or documents of title under any sale, pledge or other disposition thereof or under any agreement for sale, pledge or other disposition thereof, any person receiving the same in good faith and without notice of any lien or other right of the original seller in respect of the goods, shall have the same effect as if the person making the delivery or transfer were a mercantile agent in possession of the goods or documents of title with the consent of the owner. Sale by a seller in possession is the last exception to the nemo dat quod non habet rule, is where a person having sold goods continues or is in possession of the goods or of the documents of title to the goods, the delivery or transfer by that person or by a mercantile agent acting for him of the goods or documents of title under any sale, pledge or other disposition thereof or under any agreement for sale, pledge or other disposition thereof the any person receiving the same effect as if the person making the delivery or transfer were expressly authorized by the owner of the goods to make the same. That's all from me. Thank you.